So the MVP odds have been updated by Vegas. And last time they had Patrick Mahomes as number one going into this season. Then Joe Burrow gets a calf injury. People freak out. There is analysts that saying he's going to be out week one versus the Browns. Jamar Chase comes out and says as long as he's back by week 5. And then Bryant McFadden, CBS Sports analyst, says that the Bengals are lying to us. And he's going to be out at least 8.5 games. What? Oh, now he's fine. And he's throwing the football last week. And he's running around the field. And he's going to be back by week 1. So Vegas said, oh crap. The king is back. And yes, because the king is back, they had to update their odds. Because keep in mind, Vegas only wins is if you bet and you bet on the guy. Let's say, for example, the MVP, whoever the MVP is. Vegas only wins if their MVP is the guy they have number one. Because that means that's the least amount of return on investment that they have to pay people out. So, for example, if Burrow gets MVP here, he's plus 600, right? So that means that there's only a certain amount they have to pay back to whoever bet on that guy. So the higher the number, so plus 1,100, all the way up to plus 5,000, that's a lot of money, right? So plus 600 just means that he is favored. The lower the number, and if the guy is really favored, like for example, if every quarterback in the NFL got hurt and it was just one quarterback, then that's when you see negative odds. So you see like negative 500. That means like this is clearly going to happen. So you could vote on it and you can bet on it, but you're not going to really make any money back, right? That's the whole point. Nonetheless, though, Burrow, like I was saying, he is back and he's ready to go. And now he is having the number one spot for MVP going into this year. Now, I will say, to number two's credit here, Josh Allen was the number one last year going into the season, the favorite to win MVP. And obviously, listen, he didn't win MVP. Patrick Mahomes won MVP, right? So, in that credit, this isn't really as... It doesn't speak that much volume to what actually will happen. At the end of the day, Vegas is happy as long as one of the 3 options here wins it. If they have someone like down the list at number 10 win it, then they're going to have to pay out crazy money to somebody. And they don't want to do that. So, realistically speaking, they want Burrow, Mahomes, or Allen to win this. Now, I will say one thing that I also think is going to go ahead and propel the odds of this going even higher is going to be how Jonah Williams continues to look in the preseason. If he does play any games of preseason, I think he will play some games of preseason, but how he continues to look in training camp, how he continues to, progress in training camp. Because if the right tackle position for the Bengals, right, Jonah Williams, if he can stay healthy, stay at elite level, right, stay at a very, be one of the best not one of the best in the league, but be above average right tackle. We already know this offensive line. Left tackle, Hall of Famer. Left guard, Volson, he's looked really good in training camp so far and the preseason. Center, Teddy K, you already know. Going to get the job done. Right guard, Kappa, as long as he stays healthy, we're fine. And then again, we have Collins and we have Jonah. Now again, when you're Vegas and you look at that, yeah, it's really freaking good. Now, in this clip here, the herd, what's his name? Colin does talk about how the reason why this is the case is because, Patrick Mahomes does lack a number one weapon. And I still hate that argument, and I will hate that argument forever and ever, because he does have Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the league. And Kelce is not a blocking tight end. He is a pure receiving tight end. He's pretty much a glorified wide receiver who plays at the tight end position and actually gets to go against linebackers and safeties instead of star corners. I digress from that. But he does make that point, and that he says that might be why Vegas is more or less leaning toward Joe Burrow, because obviously T. Higgins on the contract year, he's going to be looking to ball out. Then you got Jamar Chase, then you got Tyler Boyd, then you got, Irv Smith now, who, in my opinion, is probably a little bit better of a vertical threat tight end than Hayden Hurst was. And then obviously Joe Mixon, Chase Brown, Charlie Jones, etc., right? And he does bring up the good point that, yes, this offense is, on paper, better than the Chiefs' offense, right? It is. At the end of the day, that's really a factual point. It used to be that the offensive line was, way better for the Chiefs and not for the Bengals. Well, my bad. The one time the Chiefs didn't have a good offensive line, they played the Bucs in the Super Bowl. At least we kept it close, KC. At least we kept it close with the Rams. Anyway, I digress from that point. So, I do understand that perspective and that concept, but I just honestly, how I feel about it is I just think Vegas is starting to learn. Vegas is starting to realize that the king is about to take his crown. The king is about to take the league by storm, and it's going to be a really, really awesome season. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, all this stuff when it comes to MVPs, and I'll say this a million times, I truly do believe the MVP award is a popularity contest. I will say that a million times. Even if Joe wins it, I will still say that. Because, again, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the, I'm going to pull up last year's MVPs here. Well, the, voting-wise. And again, like I said, I still believe it's a popularity contest. And if Joe wins it, that's great. And I still think, listen, I think it's a popularity contest. You can still win it, right, the MVP award, and be the best player of the year. You 1000% can. But back in the day, it used to be based on all skill. Now it's more or less whoever's the most popular. And back in the day when you had Adrian Peterson win it, Sean Alexander won it, right? And again, some non-quarterbacks. And it doesn't just have to be non-quarterbacks for it to not be a popularity contest. But it just seems like now it's just a quarterback award and not really the best player available. But last year, I almost called him Pat Pete. Patrick Mahomes was number 1. Jalen Hurts was number 2. Burrow Burrow number 3, and 4 was Allen. So last year going into it, Allen was actually the MVP favorite, and he finished 4th out of MVP voting. Burrow finished number 3, and again, Jalen Hurts number 2. So at the end of the day, I will forever say it's a popularity contest, but I do like how Vegas is giving us some respect here and saying, you know what, we started off the year with Patrick Mahomes as the clear favorite, and now he's, Burrow's back from his calf injury. Well, maybe Burrow might be the guy to be the clear favorite here. Guys, keep in mind, I will be live streaming tomorrow night. I will be going live stream around, the game's around 8 o'clock, I think. Oh, 7 o'clock? I gotta check that. But anyway, I will be going live around 45 minutes before the game so that I can go ahead and do some pregame talking with you guys before we play the Falcons. When they're going to be starting their starters too, man. So we're going to be interested to see how the Falcons do in that game. But we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next one. Peace.